We've all seen TV shows where people stumble upon a rare item in their home and try to turn it into cash. However, the following stories make Pawn Stars, American Pickers, Storage Wars, and Antiques Roadshow look like chump change. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more incredible videos. Number 1. British family finds chess piece in home, $1.2 million. In 1964, an antiques dealer purchased a chess piece for £5. He then cataloged it and put it away. While the man died, the piece was willed to his daughter. Eventually, the item was taken to Sotheby's for appraisal, and according to a story at chess.com, the piece, 8.8 centimeters or 3.5 inches high and made of walrus ivory, is named Warder. It represents a rook. It is a standing, bearded warrior holding a sword in his right hand and a shield in his left. The many similarities make it almost certain that it is part of the famous Lewis chessmen, found on the Isle of Lewis in Scotland's Outer Hebrides in 1831. Due to its status as one of the missing Lewis chessmen, it brought in $927,062 at auction. Number 2. Man finds $1 million lottery ticket in trash. In 2005, 83-year-old Edward St. John was searching the trash for discarded lottery tickets at a local convenience store when he made a fortuitous discovery: a winning Hold'em Poker scratch-off ticket worth $1 million. Unfortunately, when Mr. St. John claimed the ticket, one Kevin Donovan claimed the ticket was his and he'd accidentally thrown it away. Donovan died of a heart attack at age 49, but his family sued, hoping to get the money. MSN reported that St. John would receive $43,000 a year for 20 years before taxes, while Donovan's estate will get $7,000 a year. Number 3. Couple nearly lose out on $75 million lottery ticket. In 2018, a retired couple from Scotland nearly lost out on $75 million after a clerk accidentally discarded their winning ticket. Fred and Leslie Higgins had selected the winning numbers for the Euro Millions drawing on 10th July, but when Fred took the ticket in, the clerk told him it was a loser and tore it in half. Thankfully, the ticket machine caught the error, and authorities were eventually able to confirm the winner and dole out the hefty payday to Mr. and Mrs. Higgins. When last heard from, the couple were looking at buying a new home in a nicer climate, such as France or the Barbados. Number 4. Just sell it. A maintenance worker stumbled upon a rare find during the last days of the Capitol Court Mall. During some last-minute cleanup, maintenance supervisor Larry Aw found a signed sneaker in a storage room and recognized it as something special, a signed sneaker from Michael Jordan's rookie season. Larry tucked the sneaker away for 17 years before gifting it to his future son-in-law. Then the two decided to see just how valuable the sneaker was. Expectations for the auction were high, with it believed the sneaker might command a price as high as $20,000. However, Ron Tesmer, owner of the store Playmakers, where he claims the shoe was originally stored, claims it belongs to him, and that Aw had no business appropriating it. For now, the sneaker sale remains in limbo, but it's still a fantastic find. Number 5. The $27 million decoration. As we've seen, you never know what you'll find at home or on sale. But can you believe a woman in her 90s had a 13th century painting sitting in her home? When the elderly lady had to move out, her family began clearing out her apartment and came across an 8x10 illustration that proved to be a lost piece of art. Like many of the cases here, an auctioneer was called in and the print was sent for testing, revealing it was a painting by Italian painter Cimabue, considered the father of Italian painting. The painting went up for auction and brought in an incredible $27 million, a record sum for any painting before the 15th century. However, the French government barred the painting's transfer, as it gave itself 3 years to raise the sum, claiming it as a national treasure that should remain in France. Unfortunately, the woman died and her heirs are now stuck with a $10 million inheritance tax while they wait to get paid. Number 6. A meteorite means money. In 2018, a Michigan man kept hearing stories of people discovering meteor rocks on their land that might be valuable. He'd had a 22-pound rock in his possession for decades and decided to see if it was worth anything. Mazurek said he purchased a farm where its previous owner recalled the meteor crashed to Earth sometime in the 1930s. The farmer and his son dug it out of the earth and kept it on the property until selling it to Mazurek and telling him he could keep it. Mazurek used it as a doorstop until he decided to get it tested. In 2019, Mazurek received $75,000 for the former doorstop and, as he'd promised, donated 10% of his profits to the Michigan University. Number 7. A $2.42 million picture frame. In 1989, a man picked up an ugly-looking painting at a flea market for $4, simply because he liked the frame it was in. However, after taking the ugly painting inside, he realized the frame was in poor condition and of no value. Was the man out of his $4? Turns out he wasn't, as there was another object folded into the frame, and it eventually brought him far more than $4. The unknown document looked to be some sort of vintage document from the 1800s, but it was actually a copy of the American Declaration of Independence. Only 24 copies of the 1776 original are known to exist, and this particular copy was in exceptional condition, adding to its value. Number 8. Moon dust turns into gold dust. When Nancy Lee Carlson bid on an item marked Lunar Sample Return at an online auction in 2015, she had no idea she was bidding on moon dust collected during the historic Apollo 11 moon mission. Curious as to what she'd purchased for $995, she sent the bag of dust to NASA, who identified its origins, then promptly seized it, claiming it was government property, and that the item auctioned to Carlson was supposed to contain something besides the moon dust. Carlson promptly sued in federal court, with the court ruling in her favor. Sotheby's auctioned the space treasure for $1.8 million, and Carlson said she would use it to set up a scholarship fund for speech pathology. Number 9. Man finds Billy the Kid photo in cardboard box, $5 million. When Randy Guijarro picked up some vintage tintype photos, a popular form of photography in the 1860s and 1870s, for his Western memorabilia collection, he had no idea he was buying a picture of the legendary outlaw Billy the Kid. With only one known authenticated photograph of the notorious gunman in existence, Guijarro and his wife spent 5 years trying to get their photo authenticated. Finally, in 2015, auction house Kagan's authenticated and insured the photo for $5 million. Number 10. A delightful discovery. When building contractor David Gonzalez was renovating a home he'd bought for $10,000, he came across newspaper as well as a vintage comic book used as insulation in a wall. The comic book, which happened to be as old as the house Gonzalez had purchased, was Action Comics #1, the debut of Superman. While it's unknown whether David moved faster than a speeding bullet to get the book to the auction house, we do know it sold for $175,000 and would have brought in much more, except that it was missing the back cover. Honorable mentions. These items aren't high-end finds, but they're still incredible due to their novelty factor. Number 1. Szechuan Sauce sells for $15,000. In 1998, McDonald's promoted the film Mulan by offering Szechuan sauce with its Chicken McNuggets. The sauce faded into history, that is, until the animated series Rick and Morty popularized the sauce, leading to an unprecedented demand for it, even though it hadn't been around in 2 decades.
In 1998, they had this promotion for the Disney film Mulan, where they created a new sauce for the McNuggets called Szechuan Sauce, and it's delicious.
After McDonald's offered the sauce for 1 day, some fans went a bit overboard in their efforts to get it. According to Business Insider, one savvy sauce seller listed a 64-ounce jug of sauce they'd won in a contest on eBay, with the winning bid coming in at $15,300. Number 2. Cleaning out a closet equals cold hard cash. Have you ever heard of the NES game Kid Icarus? If you're a hardcore gamer, you may have, as the 1987 game became a cult classic, known for its challenging gameplay and catchy soundtrack. However, the game became hard to find, particularly in its original packaging, so imagine Scott Amos's surprise when he discovered it in a closet in his original JCPenney's shopping bag. The game indeed commanded a premium, bringing in $9,000. Amos says he plans to use the unexpected windfall to fund a family vacation to Disney.